Welcome to the Rebel to Succeed podcast. It's your boy Ink, Anthony Williams, the founder of rebeltosucceed.com. The purpose of this podcast is to share tips, advice, and strategies to help you improve in all areas of your life. My mission is to make a positive difference in your life to help you live your best life. Now let's get it. What up, good people? It's your boy Ant from Rebel to Succeed coming at y'all with another episode. Today in this episode, I wanted to talk about the power of sexual transmutation, and some people call it semen retention, some people call it sex energy transmutation, but I'm pretty sure you guys get the point. I'm going to be talking about just basically like the power of that and how people use it to bring about success in their lives. I feel like that is what I would consider like it's kind of like a 1% type. I'll say it's like a 1% type key to success that a lot of people don't put into effect. I mean, they may not know about it. They may not. May have never heard about it, but I'm here to talk about it a little bit because essentially sexual energy transmutation, semen retention, whatever name you want to give it, it is a major key to success, specifically when it comes to men and how they channel that energy, what they do with it. So yeah, I mean, sexual energy transmutation, based off my experience, it's a very powerful tool that you can use to basically get stuff done. I'm really not into all of the, I guess you can call it like the, all of the extra, things that people say about it as far as like, oh, it brings, I've heard people say like, oh, what they say? They say like women are attracted to you because when you do semen retention or sexual energy transmutation. I'm specifically not going to talk about that because that's not really that I want to talk about it in context of how to use your energy to be successful. I'm all about success and motivation and success. So I really don't give too much about like, women attraction or anything like that. That's not really a concern of mine. I'll speak on it a bit because I know that there may be, some single listeners, but me personally, I'm married. I'm really not worried about trying to attract a mate. I've already attracted my mate, my life partner, my wife. So I don't really care about the attraction part, but there have been like some some people have said that, oh well, it attracts women to you when you retain your semen, when you don't ejaculate, when you just keep that energy inside of you. So I mean there are some type of benefits, I guess, as far as in that wheelhouse, I'll say. But it kind of makes sense too, where if you're full of a lot of they say that opposites attract. So if you're full of a lot of like male energy, you're going to attract, or not even really male. What's a better way to put it? Let's just say. So you have the female energy. I mean, you have feminine energy, and then you have, I guess you can say manly energy, or yeah. For lack of better words, I'll say like alpha energy, manly energy. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that it'll come to me later on in the episode. But yeah, So if you're full of of the the manly energy, the alpha energy, you're gonna attract that woman to you. You know what I mean? Because opposites attract. So most men are attracted to women because they're very they're very womanish. You know what I mean? They're feminine. You're gonna be attracted to the feminine. You know what I mean? So and vice versa with women. They're gonna be attracted to the male energy. That manly energy, that alpha energy. So me personally, it kind of makes sense to me. It's yin and yang. You know what I mean? All of, that energy is gonna energy attracts. It's always gonna it's always gonna attract energy. You know what I mean? It's always gonna attract something. So I mean, it makes sense. If you're full of it, you're gonna attract, and things are gonna be attracted to you. It's gonna be like a magnet. You know what I mean? Per se. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You know what I mean? But again, like if you're looking to, I guess, attract, a mate or a woman, you may want to, stop, basically channel that sexual energy into something else. You know what I mean? I was talking about this in my last episode. I'll just say in one of my episodes about how, the woman can push men to, can push the man to become successful. And that was one of the things that I was touching on as far as like, the sexual energy and stuff like that. A lot of men, they want to attract, a woman, you know what I mean? And that's when, I guess that's one way that you can do it. If you just keep your manly energy inside of you and channel it into, being successful, the woman is going to be attracted to success and ambition and determination. She's not going to want anybody who's just sitting around not doing nothing. They don't have any type of plan for their life. So focus on, channeling that energy into being successful, into building success, building a business, channeling into building up your body. You know what I'm saying? Like something positive. You know what I mean? So, that was one of the things that I was touching on in that particular episode. But but sexual energy, man, is very powerful. I've done a little bit of research. I've heard a couple of things as far as, 1 drop of semen is equivalent to like 60 drops of blood. You know what I mean? Which is a lot of blood. You know what I mean? Like what they say, it's 1 drop of semen is equivalent to an ounce of blood or something like that. Like basically, a portion of your semen is equivalent to a lot of blood. So when you ejaculate, you're losing a lot of blood. You know what I mean? Because your blood and stuff like that is going to be put into your semen, because your semen is essentially is for creating another human being. It's going to your body is going to put all of its best into the semen so it can basically reproduce the best human possible. The best baby, you know what I mean? We're put here to reproduce. Our DNA wants to, reproduce and you know what I mean? Like it wants to basically, spread itself. It wants to reproduce. So that's why I feel like a lot of men are basically drawn to, the woman, you know what I mean? Because we're just created as just basically just semen. I kind of think of us as like semen machines, you know what I mean? Like we just want to spread our seed, you know what I mean? Like the woman, she needs the man's seed, and the man is inclined to give her the seed to, so that both parties can come together and reproduce. Again, we were put here to reproduce, you know what I mean? To reproduce and to, make a difference in the world. I truly believe so. But that's one of the things. So if you have like, if your body is full of this, this sexual energy, creative energy, essentially, you know what I mean? Because your sexual energy, your semen is used to create. You know what I mean? It's creative energy. So, it's in you to to create something beautiful. You know what I mean? Another human being. So why not use that creative energy to create a business, to create a better body, to create something positive? You know what I mean? Just something positive in the world. It's creative energy. So when you're full of this creative energy, essentially, if you don't ejaculate it out, you're going to want to, create. You're going to be driven to create. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you can use your sexual energy to, to create something better for you and your family and your wife and your kids or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't have to, just keep pumping out all of the semen for nothing. You know what I mean? Essentially, if you think about it, if you're not trying to have babies, if you're not trying to, create a child or anything like that, most of the time what you're going to do is you're going to, ejaculate it into your partner, and she's probably just going to wipe it off and flush it down the toilet. You know what I mean? And it may have taken you like, 3 or 4 weeks to create that. You know what I mean? Your body, I don't know if men pay attention to their body after they ejaculate, but me personally, I've paid attention to it because as I've learned about, how powerful this energy is. And again, I've learned about it in a book called Think and Grow Rich, which is one of my favorite books. I call it like my Bible to success, you know what I mean? But in the book, this is how I learned about sexual energy transmutation and, what a lot of people deem as semen retention. In one of the chapters in that book, it talks about sexual energy transmutation and how a lot of successful men in the world, successful men in the past have used that energy to create, lots of success in their lives and created, a lot of, successful things in the world. You know what I mean? So, sexual energy is powerful, man. If these successful men, I'm talking men like, what's his name? Henry Ford, you know what I mean? Just a lot of, I'll link the book down in the description. I'm also putting out some content on my YouTube channel about it, but but I mean, Think and Grow Rich, man, it really opened my eyes up to, sexual energy transmutation and how it can be used to be successful. I encourage you guys to, check that book out, definitely. But sexual energy transmutation is creative energy. You know what I mean? It's creative energy. So basically, if you look at how men are driven to please their partner, or not even really please their partner, but to basically how driven they are to have sex with the female, that just goes to show you how powerful that energy is. You know what I mean? There's a lot of men who have done some crazy things just to impress a woman to be able to have sex with her. You know what I mean? Like, we will go to the ends of the world to have sex with a female. And like I said, if you look at the power in that, we would do a lot of crazy things just to have sex with a female, because we have that urge to just, to essentially, it's to reproduce, even though you may not even be reproducing. Like I said, a lot of the times when you ejaculate in your partner, she's just flushing it down the toilet, or, she wipes it off and flushes it down the toilet. So, but I mean, it's still that urge, that the whole reason for sex is to reproduce. So we have that urge to reproduce. Essentially, like I said before, men are inclined to, spread their seed, to ejaculate their seed into the woman so that the woman can use the seed to be able to, use it to make a baby or whatever. Her eggs and your seed is going to come together and create like a baby. So she needs your seed. You need, basically both parties need each other, and this is that drive, that when you're full of that energy, that drive to reproduce is what we both need to be able to come together and to reproduce. But again, like I say, you don't have to just waste that energy. I'll say this, like if you already have kids, you don't plan on having any more kids, I really feel like you should pay attention to what I'm saying, because there's no point in you wasting a lot of your energy, your sexual energy. You all of the food that you eat, most of that food is put into, all of the, the nutrients and stuff you get from the food is put into that semen. So, you don't want to waste all of the days. You know what I mean? I don't know how often, men ejaculate. I would say this. I would ejaculate with caution. You know what I mean? Like, I would kind of plan it out. You know what I mean? Kind of, put a hold on it for a while. Like, just have like do it in increments. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't just go and just ejaculate all crazy, because again, you're wasting. You're wasting I call it your potential. You know what I mean? It's potential creative energy that you just you're wasting. And I feel like men be kind of think of it as it's just this white stuff, this white clary stuff that just comes out of us, and we'll get it back. You know what I mean? But time is limited here on earth, man. You know what I mean? And it's like God has gifted you with this energy to be able to create something beautiful. It doesn't just have to be a baby. You can use this energy to create, massive success in your life. You know what I mean? It's it's creative energy. It's you use it to create. You know what I mean? So if you keep this energy inside of you and you don't just ejaculate it, you know what I mean? You may come up with some great ideas, for a business that you could start. You may come up with some, creative ideas. Like if you're into the arts, you may come up with like some song ideas or something. I don't know. It's creative energy. You know what I mean? And like I say, you want to use it to be creative, to, use it to be able to create something of value that may help the world. You know what I mean? Instead of you just ejaculating and then, that's the end of that. You know what I mean? You're wasting your creative energy. So I'm, as you can tell, I'm really like passionate about this, because like I said, it's something that I've learned in that book, Think and Grow Rich. One of my favorite books. And like I said, if you look at, the book was written by Napoleon Hill, and he names in that book a lot of, basically, the book was written a while ago, but all of the people that, when he wrote it in his era, a lot of the people in that era were very, very successful people. And we're still kind of benefiting from some of the people that benefited from, that book, you know what I mean? That have used their sexual energy to create things. You know what I mean? Like Henry Ford, we're still, people are still driving Fords, you know what I mean, to this day. And the book was written, and he interviewed Henry Ford, years ago. You know what I mean? But again, like I say, it's very powerful. You know what I mean? If they can use it, if they practice this, like if you look at like some of the boxers, a lot of boxers, they may not ejaculate for a while before a fight. You know what I mean? Because they know that when you ejaculate your energy like that, your life force, I'll call it life force, you're basically it weakens you. You're less of yourself, you know what I mean? Because you just ejaculated it out to be able to create another baby. You got to give a part of yourself to be able to create another person. You got to give life to be able to create, new life. You know what I mean? You got to give a part of yourself to be able to create somebody else. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. You know what I mean? But that's essentially what you're doing, Your semen is a part of you. You know what I mean? Your DNA is all in that. You know what I mean? And, that's a part of you. That's you. That you're ejaculating out into the woman, into the female, to create, the baby. You know what I mean? The baby is going to be, he or she is going to be is going to be a part of you. You know what I mean? A piece of you is inside of that baby. And it all starts with your seed. Same thing for the woman, you know what I mean? She got to give a piece of herself, you know what I mean? But a lot of men, we kind of, like I said, we just take it for granted because, it's just, we can get it back. A lot of people think that, you can just get it back, after a while. But again, time is limited, you know what I mean? You want to be able to use that energy to the best of your ability while you're here. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of look at it. I want to be successful, as soon as possible. You know what I mean? I want to, experience life. I don't want to live with regret, when I'm 70 or 80 years old, you know what I mean? And I'm on my way out of this world, you know what I mean? You want to, be full of, happiness. You don't want to have no regrets, basically. I don't want to have no regrets by the time I'm 80 something. You know what I mean? By the time I'm 85, 90, I don't want to have any regrets. I want to be happy with the life that I've lived and, the chances that I took and the risks that I took. You know what I mean? You don't get any rewards if you don't take any risk. So, but yeah, I want to, encourage, men to, stop just ejaculating and just wasting your energy. You know what I mean? Just wasting your energy. This has, it's been practiced for, thousands of years. You guys could go back and take a look at some of the, take a look at history. A lot of, people way back in the day, man. And when I say back in the day, I'm talking about like, in different eras, you know what I mean? Back like thousands of years ago that, that's practiced this. You know what I mean? You have like yogis that practice this. A lot of people over in India. You know what I mean? It's something that's not really, I feel like it's not really talked about in America because I feel like, if people knew a lot about this type of information, you would have, a lot of successful people. You know what I mean? Again, it all depends on what you do with your energy. I feel like there's a lot of men that, it's kind of hard for them to be able to control themselves. You know what I mean? And I say this, if you can control, yourself sexually, you can control your life. You know what I mean? Especially for men, because men are so ruled by their sexual nature and their sexual energy, that drive to just want to just release in the female, that, a lot of society kind of looks at men as, like animals, you know what I mean? You like, we're just animals. They call us, dogs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because nobody has, like, we don't, like, a lot of men don't know how to, to control that nature. They don't know what to do with that energy. You know what I mean? They just want to just keep releasing and keep releasing. And, it's kind of like a double whammy when you do that, because essentially, again, you're put here to reproduce. So if you don't ejaculate a lot of your sexual energy like that, your body is going to, it's going to build itself up to be able to, attract a mate. You know what I mean? It's going to do what it has to do to, to be able to get you to reproduce, because again, we were put here to reproduce. You know what I mean? So if you keep that energy in you, it's going to do whatever it can to make you, as successful as possible, to be able to attract somebody to, to be able, for you to be able to reproduce. You know what I mean? So it's going to build your body up. It's going to make you more confident. It's going to make you, it's going to make your mind sharper. It's going to, just make you basically a better person all the way around, to be able to attract that mate, to be able to reproduce. So that's how powerful, that drive is. You know what I mean? Like, it's motivation, it's drive. You know what I mean? So if you're just ejaculating, then essentially what you're going to do is you're going to start to feel, depressed. You're going to lose a lot of the nutrients that's in your semen that your body could be using. You're going to lose a lot of just basically all of the healthy things that's in it. You know what I mean? Because again, with men, we continuously, we're always producing, semen. You know what I mean? And that's what we're here for. We're here to to provide the seed. You know what I mean? So your body is always making it. You know what I mean? But if it doesn't have a lot of it, then it's going to, if you just keep pumping it out, it's going to, everything that you eat, everything that you put in your body is going to, the main healthy things are going to go towards that semen, because again, it needs to have that, just in case, you want to ejaculate, to have, to create another human. It's going to give the best, all of the best, to the semen. You know what I mean? Because again, that's our number one job here, is to reproduce. Our DNA wants to reproduce. So, But if you're just pumping it out, your body, your brain is going to think, oh, well, this guy's, he's very successful. You know what I mean? We don't have to build his body up. We don't have to make him sharp. We don't have to make him, he doesn't need any drive. You know what I mean? He's already reproducing. He's successful. He has all of the women. You know what I mean? And I feel like, it's kind of like a fake out. You know what I mean? That's the same thing with, if you study, I've came across some videos on YouTube about, men in porn. You know what I mean? When you study men in porn, you're not going to, be very successful with, the opposite sex because you're just, probably jerking out to, a freaking video of a woman or something like that, which is retarded. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you're not, I hate to put it this way, but you're not manly at all. You're just sitting around just looking at porn all day. You know what I mean? Instead of you just going out and, trying to attract a mate, going after the woman, you'd rather just look at a video. You know what I mean? That's corny. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, alpha at all. That's not manly at all. You know what I mean? You just sitting around looking at a video. Go and get the woman in real life instead of looking at the video. And that's what, that sexual energy transmutation can do for you. You know what I mean? That you retaining your semen can do for you. It's going to drive you to be able to go and do that. You know what I mean? To get real results instead of you looking at pictures on Instagram or, or whatever, you know what I mean? Or looking at porn. Like you're never going to attract a mate that way. If that's your whole goal is to try to attract a mate, it's not going to happen with you just looking at porn. You know what I mean? Keep that, retain your seed, man. Retain that semen. You know what I mean? And let it, boost your confidence, let it boost your energy, let it boost your drive to be able to go and get some things done. You know what I mean? That's ultimately what it is. It's, that creative energy is going to create a drive in you to be able to go and get some things done. Now, me personally, from a personal experience, what I've noticed, there's a lot of benefits that, men, kind of, that they, say that they have on a more personal basis. Me personally, I noticed that when I'm not ejaculating all crazy, and I retain my semen or whatever, transmute it into other things, first thing right off the bat that I noticed is that I have way more energy. And the second thing I noticed is that mentally I'm a bit more on my game. You know what I mean? Like I want to go and get things done. So I kind of stay away from things that kind of, I guess you can call it, affects my dopamine levels, anything that messes with my, pleasure and reward system. I kind of, I try to stay away from things that has a heavy impact on that because that's really what a lot of people are driven by is that, that dopamine. People want, they want, they want that pleasure. You know what I mean? They want that. And when you get too much pleasure, again, life is, I've spoken about this before, and, life is all about balance. So if you experience a lot of pleasure, you so high up, you know what I mean? Eventually you're going to come down off that high, you know what I mean? Because life always has to keep balance. So me personally, I like to stay grounded, you know what I mean? I don't want to be experiencing too much pleasure, let me switch that. You know what I mean? Of course, I like pleasure, but I don't want to just be, ejaculating all crazy, because there's going to be consequences behind that. That's a better way for me to put it. There's going to be consequences. You're just busting all of these nuts and you just ejaculating all crazy. Just know that something's going to come from that. You know what I mean? Every action has a reaction. You know what I mean? You gotta, trying to think of the right words to say, but yeah, there's going to be some type of consequences for you to be just busting nuts all crazy, just ejaculating like that, ejaculating all of that semen. You know what I mean? So, and there's going to be, some type of consequences, and there's going to be some type of results from keeping that semen in you. You know what I mean? Keeping that energy in you, rather. I like to say energy because that's basically what it is. You know what I mean? Everything is energy. So your semen is energy. It's creative energy. So and I know like some people may be listening like, man, that's crazy. You know what I mean? It may sound kind of woo woo-ish. I don't know where I get that word from, woo woo. But yeah, when I say woo, I mean like, it's really deep. It's something that people never really thought about. You know what I mean? It may sound, kind of crazy, but me personally, I've experienced this firsthand. I feel, I feel like I'm full of energy. You know what I mean? I feel driven to do things. You know what I mean? I want to, I want to, release that energy. You know what I mean? Instead of just releasing it out of, out of me via, my penis. You know what I mean? You can release it other ways. You know what I mean? Release it to where as though you going to the gym and you releasing it in the gym. What's going to be the results from that? Well, you're going to build your body up. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So, or you can go and release that energy, all of that tension and that energy you have built up in you. Instead of you just, busting out of your penis, you can go and you can release that energy and put it into, building up, some type of business, put it into your work. You know what I mean? Release it into your work. And what's going to come out of that? Well, you're probably going to, you're going to start, build a business. You know what I mean? You're going to start building, put it into your work and you're going to, it's going to create more money for you. You see what I'm saying? So instead of you just, releasing, it's all energy. It's all energy. So, it has to come out of you some way. You see what I'm saying? So why not release it in a way that's going to help you see some positive results? That's ultimately what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's all energy. It's all energy. So just take notice and be cautious on how you release that energy, because it's going to come out some type of way. You know what I mean? If you don't do anything with that energy, then you're going to find that you're probably going to start to, it may come out as anger. You know what I mean? It may come out as frustration. It may come out as, like in a wet dream or something like that. But, it has to, come out some way. You know what I mean? And it has to. You can't, like if you was to, continue to, feel it. Let me put it this way. Let's say you have like a cup of water, and let's equate the water to, your semen that's in your body. Now your body continuously creates the semen, right? So, if you don't, release, release that energy, and you keep filling the cup with water, eventually it's going to overflow. It has to come out. You see what I'm saying? So instead of you, like I say, it can come out in a negative way, which is really not, it's really not good. You know what I mean? Of course, it's negative, but release it, take control of how you release that energy. You know what I mean? Use it in a more positive way, in a more thoughtful way. If you look at a lot of successful people, a lot of men, or like just I did some studies on like the Jewish community, right? So I've heard about Jews and how it's part of their religion to kind of I think it's something along the lines of they don't release a lot. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it's something religious with them. But if you notice, a lot of Jews are very, very successful as far as, business wise. You know what I mean? Like they have a lot of money. You see what I'm saying? They're full of that creative energy, and that energy is pushing them to be, just a bit more successful than the average person that just releases on the daily. You know what I mean? So you got to just, tap into that, man. Tap into that. Tap into how you're releasing that energy, what you're doing with it, because it's very powerful. Me personally, I think it's more of like a spiritual thing as well. And even if you really, let's say you don't even, you're listening to this and you're like, man, I don't believe this, like it doesn't make sense. It's just nut, it's just cum, you know what I mean? Even if you don't believe in, the positive benefits of it, I still think that it still has a positive effect on you. Some men, like they may not. People may be like, oh, there's no benefits, but there's some people who just believe that there is, even if there really isn't any benefits. Mentally, they have a mental edge over the person that doesn't believe in semen retention or sexual energy transmutation, because they believe that they're receiving benefits. You know what I mean? And I'm more of a person that it's about like the mind. You know what I mean? I'm very I'm a very mental person, and I honestly believe that whatever you believe in your mind is what you're going to see. You're gonna, if you think that this semen retention or this sexual energy transmutation, if all of this is causing you to be more confident, then you believe it, then you're going to be more confident. So that's basically what I'm saying. Like you're going to get that mental edge as well, even if let's just say like there's no benefits from it. You know what I mean? But if you believe that there are, then you're still going to see benefits, because whatever you believe is what you're going to see in your reality. You see what I'm saying? So it's powerful, man. It's very powerful. But me personally, I believe that there is benefits from it, because I've experienced it firsthand. So it's not a fluke. It's not a what they call it, like a what they call it. They call it like a placebo effect. People say, oh, maybe it's a placebo effect. Even if that's the case, people are still benefiting from it. You know what I mean? Because they honestly believe that it's working. So why not just eat? Me personally, I can't see how you can lose. You know what I mean? You can't lose. A lot of men just may try to put it down because they just don't have the self-control to be able to control themselves sexually, and that's your problem. You know what I mean? Don't put other people down because they believe something and they feel like it's working. If it's working for them, then it's working for them. You know what I mean? But I invite you to at least try it before you knock it. You know what I mean? Grab your, get the balls to be able to control yourself. You know what I mean? I feel like, and this is just for a lot of the men out there who just strictly just want to just attract, they just want to attract a mate. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to talk about this too much, man, but I know that there's a lot of, men that are just really, they're so focused on the female, which is, it's crazy. But anyway, if you want to attract that mate, right? So, man, I kind of lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Man, I lost my train of thought. Oh man, but yeah, I mean, it's just, it's man, I love this. I love this whole. To me, I consider it like a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle for me. And I'm married. You know what I mean? I'm married. I don't focus on trying to ejaculate too much like that, man. Especially as you get older, you kind of make less of it. You notice like little little boys, they're so full of energy. You know what I mean? Like, even in your teenage years, you're so full of energy, bruh. But as soon as you start releasing, you start noticing females and you start having sex and stuff like that, then you notice like, oh man, you really start to age, and you start losing that drive that you had as a teenager. You know what I mean? As a 21-year-old, you know what I mean? You start losing that drive, because now you're at the stage where you're just trying to just have sex with as many women as possible, which is not good. You know what I mean? I feel like if a lot of young guys, knew the power of their energy, their sexual energy, they could create a whole lot more success in their lives and do a lot of good for the world. You know what I mean? But it's one of my favorite things, man. I'll probably practice to the day that I die. Just basically guarding that energy. Yeah, man. Just guarding that energy, man. It's very powerful. I love to practice it. Like I said, again, it kind of just it helps you practice your self-control, your discipline, your will. You know what I mean? Like all of those good things that you're gonna need to even be successful, you're practicing that as well. You know what I mean? You have to be very disciplined to be able to do this, to practice this type of lifestyle. You know what I mean? So, man, yeah, I hope you guys have found some value in this episode. Like I say, I invite you guys to do some more research on it if you like. You can look at just look at some of the most successful people, man. Like it's really not even all of that hard. I always drive back to, people that's already successful. If somebody that's majorly successful that you know about have, said that they've used this and, it worked for them, then it's possible that it could work for you. You know what I mean? It's really that simple. So, but try it out for yourself. You know what I mean? Don't just go off what I'm saying. Don't just go off what other people say. Go and try it out for yourself. You know what I mean? Try it out for yourself and see what happens. If it works for you, then, and I would encourage you to keep doing it. You know what I mean? If it doesn't work for you, then, just drop it. You know what I mean? But I can always guarantee you, as a man, I'm not going to, put out this information to steer anybody wrong. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to put out any information on my platform to kind of steer you wrong. I'm telling you that there's benefits in this stuff. You know what I mean? There's positivity in it. All I practice is putting out positivity. So I would never put out some false information, anything that's going to hurt you, basically. I'm only going to put out information and give you knowledge and tips on things that's going to help you. So, yeah, man, I want to invite you guys to all of the guys out there to practice this. Even some of the women, you know what I mean? You don't have to, just be a man. I feel like a lot of men need to practice it, because, we're so inclined to just ejaculate like that. But, for the women can practice this as well. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, I guess like celibate women, women who go, periods of time without, having sex and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's, I feel like it can go both ways. I can't really explain it from a female perspective because I'm not a female, but, I'm only a male. So I know that for me, it helps me, you know what I mean? So I invite you guys to try it out. Do your research, check it out. I'll link, Thinking Real Rich in the description, for you guys. And you can also check out like my YouTube channel, check out, my blog, you know what I mean? I write about this information, and I talk about it and, I share it on, my YouTube channel, right along with this podcast, you know what I mean? Because I want to, reach as many people as possible, help as many people as possible. So, yeah, check it out. If you like this content, I invite you to, comment, like, subscribe, do whatever you got to do to, just give some feedback. It's your boy Ant from Rebel to Succeed, and I'll, talk to you guys in the next episode. I want to thank you for joining me today and listening to this podcast. If you found this episode helpful or valuable in any way, then I encourage you to leave an honest review and subscribe to the Rebel to Succeed podcast for future episodes. To receive more content and value, make sure to visit the Rebel to Succeed website at www.rebeltosucceed.com. And finally, always remember that to succeed in life, you have to reach everyone by exercising love. So make sure to show somebody some love today. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you next time.